This is the Master's Harvest, video number 42, Calendar Dreams, Revision 1. Today is November 23, 2025. I'm your host, Daniel Berglund. As usual, I have prepared a document for today's study. It is available as a link in the description box below. Items in this document highlighted in yellow indicate edits to this document since its previous version. November 23, 2025, Calendar Dreams, Revision 1 from Dana Coverstone. There are two links on the first page of this document. The first one is called Tracking Website, and it is a reference to the unofficial Dana Coverstone page. The second one is called Words and Dreams Transcripts, and this is a reference to a document that contains all of Dana Coverstone's dreams in numerical order. I'll click on the first one. This is the unofficial Dana Coverstone Dreams list. Its author has created a list of Coverstone dreams in numerical order to make them easier to find. And now for the Words and Dreams transcripts. I'll click on the link. Clicking this link brings up a PDF document called Words and Dreams Given to Dana Coverstone. Its table of contents lists the dreams by number. The numbers on the right side of the screen indicate the page number on which the dream is found. Let's go find a particular dream. Let's say we're interested in dream number 9. If that's the case, then we would find it on page 28. So I can go to the upper left corner of the screen now and move to page number 28 of this document. And it brings me to the, in this case, 9th dream November election. Oftentimes these dreams have a video link associated with them, commentary before the dream, and the actual dream itself. We won't be using this resource during my presentation today because I've already excerpted pieces of these dreams for purposes of display on the screen. This is primarily for you to use after you've seen this video and you'd like to go back and actually read the dreams line by line for yourself or investigate something that you might have missed otherwise. Returning now to the study document. In the first list below, called Dreams, in the order Dana Coverstone received them, we have a list of 6 dreams. Second dream, November calendar, received June 22, 2020. Sixth dream, a solemn assembly, received July 10, 2020, and so forth. In the second list, named Dreams in the order that I expect them to be fulfilled, we have the same 6 dreams but arranged in calendar order. So the first dream to be shown would be the 6th dream in September, then the 8th dream in October, the 9th dream in November, the 11th dream in November, the 2nd dream in November, and then the 12th dream in December and January. The content highlighted in yellow indicates important clues for us as we go through the documents in their larger form coming up on the following pages. For instance, the first highlighted yellow item is September 1 on a Tuesday. We want to understand why that's important. Number 2, we've got hyperinflation, vote suppression. These are characteristics that we'll be looking for in the dream. Number 3, November 3 on an election day, which is a Tuesday. Next, UN steps in. And finally, bank runs, Chinese plus Russian soldiers on the ground. These will become obvious when we're going through the document itself, but in case you'd like a quick reminder at any time, you can always come back to this list to find out what it is we were looking for. September 2026, a solemn assembly. In his September dream, Dana Coverstone stands on a September calendar where September 1 falls on a Tuesday. He received this dream in the summer of 2020. In that year, September 1 fell on a Tuesday. We all thought that the fulfillment was imminent. However, summer and fall passed, and the prophesied events did not occur. Disappointed, I put Dana Coverstone's dreams on the shelf. Years later, I asked God when the events of 2 Esdras chapters 11 and 12 would occur. He brought me back to Dana Coverstone's dream, where September 1 falls on a Tuesday. He prompted me to examine how often September 1 falls on a Tuesday. That combination, I discovered, usually occurs about once every 6 years. Specifically, it occurred in the year 2020. It will again occur in the years 2026, 2037, 2043, 2048, 2054, and so on. So, in which year could Dana Coverstone's dreams begin to fulfill? I'm proposing that they could only begin to fulfill in the year 2026. Here's my reasoning. Trump is currently serving his last term as president. He cannot be elected to be the president again. At least one of Coverstone's later calendar dreams depict Trump as being alive, as being the president, and as being protected by the Secret Service from assassination attempts. This would be the 9th dream, November election. That means that Coverstone's calendar dreams must begin to fulfill during his current term as president in a year when September 1 falls on a Tuesday. The year 2026 is the only year during his current term in which September 1 will fall on a Tuesday. And so, Coverstone's calendar dreams can only begin to fulfill in the September of the year 2026. October 2026, Flag Fireworks Faithful. This dream begins in the second week of October. The first week of October starts on October 4, the second week of October starts on October 11, but we don't know if the intention was that it should be counting only full weeks or partial weeks, so I put up both possibilities here. We see a rock come flying out of the sky. Politicians have firecrackers for heads. Their fuses are all lit at the same time. Politicians go stark raving mad. They all explode at the same time, and there are violent protests everywhere. Continuing the dream, a $100 bill is attached to a flagpole. It's lit on fire and lowered slowly as taps are played. It burns until there is less than a third of it left. This, in my opinion, is to indicate hyperinflation. People had their hands over their hearts as they mourned the death of their god of money. Next, we see that prosperity gospel preachers are put out of business. And finally, we see voting suppression at the end of October before the month of November, in which November 3 is Election Day. November 2026, the November election. The finger of God circled November 3, which is Election Day, a Tuesday in the month of November in the year 2026. It circles forward and then backward. The headline reads, Trump's victory challenged everywhere. Big cities burning, businesses and commercial real estate. And finally, we get to the dream called the Conestoga Wagon, where we see what happens to Trump. A Conestoga wagon loaded with dynamite with Kamala Harris driving it, led by 2 mules, and Joe Biden was riding the one on the left. At her side, there was a mechanical box that could trigger the dynamite, and it was in the upright position. Harris began whipping the mules and Biden. The mules started moving, but Biden was oblivious to the whipping as the wagon started picking up speed, heading toward a target. Hillary Clinton was standing behind President Trump, who was on his knees. She held a Roman gladius knife to the left side of his neck. The wagon started picking up speed, and Harris pushed the plunger and jumped off the wagon as it headed toward Clinton and Trump. There was a large animal trap close to Hillary. Trump managed to punch Hillary in the face. She dropped the knife and stepped into the trap, and the president ran off quickly. Coverstone heard 3 handgun shots and watched 3 Secret Service agents in suits jump in front of all 3 bullets to shield the president as he got into the beast, that is the presidential limo, and was taken away to safety. The wagon struck Hillary, and there was a great explosion. It damaged buildings and made a big hole. Biden was lying face down in the middle of the street with wheel tracks over him, and Avalchi was standing on his head. Harris was crying in disbelief, and her tears looked like they were the size of quarters. November 2026, shock and awe in the U.S. I saw a calendar and it was turned to the month of November. I saw a light in the sky, a very large light, then darkness. Many Americans were in emergency shelters and there seemed to be snow on the ground, but it was dirty and gray, almost like ash. Businesses were shuttered in the bigger cities and I saw abandoned gas stations. I saw headlines that read, "Shock and awe in the U.S.," as well as one that read, "UN steps in to help host nation." A voice said, "Remain braced as this calm comes before a gathering storm that recovery will have a hard time finding." November 2026, November calendar. In this dream, we see that money flies out of the banks. This, in my opinion, signals bank runs. We also see that Chinese and Russian soldiers are on the ground in the United States. December 2026 and January 2027. America blackout. The finger of God moves slowly and forcefully through the calendar, December through January. Then I saw long food lines and people waiting for what seemed like hours, and they were standing in line and not in cars. The Baltic dry index was 0, which indicates that there's no shipping going on the high seas. There was a great sadness over the land and people seemed dazed and confused. Most businesses were shuttered. People were in their homes wearing coats looking out from behind closed curtains. Headlines said, "Nationwide outages plague Southwest." Darkness in areas of the nation stretched into Canada. The lights were flickering like a bulb that was about to go out. I also saw the city of St. Louis and men under the arch with suitcases who were getting into black SUVs and heading east and west from the Mississippi River. They were carrying suitcases which appeared to be the nuclear suitcases from the Reagan administration. The next headlines read, "Market crashes" and "Yield lost." And that's all for today's study. Until we meet again, blessings to you and your loved ones.